Welcome to Beyond County Lines with Daniel and Olivia.
Today we're going to talk about open space and trails. I have a topic. Hopefully it's not an awkward topic, but I'm going to feel awkward with this for sure. I have an interesting quirk. I never thought about it as a quirk, but I wear the same clothes every Monday, same clothes every Tuesday, and I've been doing this for
I have never noticed.
probably about 15, 20 years. And it's an interesting quirk. When I was a child watching cartoons, specifically Doug. Did you guys ever watch Doug?
Yeah,
I remember Doug.
Definitely.
This one episode, he opens his closet and he has just all the same clothes. And I want to do that.
You want to be Doug.
I want to be Doug.
Does it change seasonally?
Probably annually. Do you guys have any interesting things like that?
Well, I feel like my friends and family probably could tell you a long list. It's hard to like self-reflect and know. What about you, Adeline?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I'm sure I have some. I'm a little OCD. I think a lot of people are, but it's like, I don't know, it's not that quirky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Well, I guess mine's kind of OCD a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will I'm very organized. And so sometimes if you go into my office, you'll see that todo está bien en orden. I have my files, everything has to be real clean. And so the same things for me at home. I feel like I can't relax until things are in order or in a way that I like. Mm-hmm. So whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But I think that's one of my quirks. I also have a nail biting habit, which I'm not proud to admit about to the public or to our colleagues here. But so hopefully with some nail polish, I try not to. It's a little nervous tick that I have.
Yeah, I have one for you. This is not offensive at all, so I hope it's not offensive. When you're speaking and you mention certain things, and I do this too sometimes, but if you'll say Bernalillo, location specifically, your Spanish accent really comes out with a powerful punch.
And I giggle a bunch.
Yeah.
So I've been listening back to the podcast and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that a nervous tick that I just giggle a bunch? So who knows? But yeah, Bernalillo, Santa Fe.
Yeah, Nuevo Mexico.
Nuevo Mexico.
All right. So today we're going to talk about open space, trails, and parks. And would you guys mind introducing yourselves with your names and titles?
Yeah, sure. I'm Rose Masters, and I'm the Open Space Interpretive Ranger, a new position.
And I'm Adeline Murphy. I'm the Open Space and Trails Planning Team Leader.
Would you mind explaining what your position does, what your responsibilities are?
Do you know what an interpretive ranger is?
I don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what that word means because it's very confusing. It sounds like maybe I'm translating languages or something. But it's really an interpretive ranger helps connect the public with a place and to bring out deeper meaning about what that place is and the stories that it holds and the people who are connected to it, the animals, the plants, everything. And it's a really, really neat job. So I'm going to be working on doing that for the Open Space and Trails program, creating exhibits, programs, and also doing some other things that are needed, some enforcement of some rules and that kind of thing as well.
So I help manage the Open Space and Trails program on the planning team. The program is split between different departments. There are staff members in Public Works that really help implement projects and get trails and other recreational amenities on the ground. And then there's also a team in the community development department, the volunteer coordinator, and she manages volunteers for the program, and that includes facilitating the Master Naturalist program. And on the planning side, where I work, we also implement some projects on the ground, and a big focus of our work is to plan open space and trails projects for the next 20 years. So we've put together a strategic management plan for open spaces and trails. Every year we have an annual work plan that kind of lays out the priorities for the year. And then my job is also to request funding for those projects. And that can be in the form of like annual funding from the county, or also grants or capital requests from the legislature. And then that helps implement these projects in our work plans on the ground so that people can enjoy open spaces and trails.
I love that. So tell me from your perspective, why is it so important for us to have open space? Whether it's just from a conservation perspective, or also what are some of the missions and goals of the Open Space and Trails program?
I could answer that. Yeah, so the vision of the program is to sustainably manage and conserve a vibrant network of cultural, historical, recreational, and natural community resources that inspire a deep sense of regional identity and stewardship among current and future generations.
What are some open spaces that you all think, folks should go check out? Or what are some really special spaces that we have, or trails that you guys are proud of?
Our open spaces and trails stretch from up by Chimayo all the way down to Edgewood. So it's the entire length of the county. So there's a lot to choose from. I'm really new. I started in February, so I've been trying to get to know these places as much as I can. And I've been spending a lot of time, especially at Arroyo Hondo open space, just south of the city. And I have grown to really love it because it has an unusual history of basically putting a dam into Arroyo Hondo in 1908 that was meant to create an entire agricultural community south of Santa Fe. That never happened. The dam was not strong enough to withstand a flash flood that went down the Arroyo. We don't know what flash floods are like around here, but those engineers apparently did not. So there's like this interesting cultural history of it. But then I think the thing that really captured me about Arroyo Hondo was the cacti. I don't know. Have either of you been out there?
Yeah, I took a video last year. I always say a video in every single podcast. I did a video for a recruitment video, and Adeline, there was a lot of water over there at the kind of by the trailhead, right? Is it still like that right now? But after all this rain we got?
Oh,
I'm not sure. It definitely was like that earlier this spring during the snow runoff.
Okay. Yeah. And I was looking at the website, and I saw, I think it was Arroyo Hondo, was an opuntia flower.
Yeah. So there's like 9 different types of cacti that live there, and they're just absolutely gorgeous from April through summertime. Wow. Flowering. So yeah, I encourage you to get out there and admire them. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about that open space, but there's so many more. I don't know, Adeline, what?
Yeah, I think
your favorite.
One of my favorites is the Santa Fe River Greenway. That is a trail that follows the Santa Fe River. It's a joint city-county trail and project. And what I love most about that project is that eventually it'll provide a thoroughfare for people to travel across the length of the city of Santa Fe along the river. It's currently under construction, so some segments have been built and some will be built in the future. But what's most special is that that project, every time a new trail segment is built, it also includes a really large restoration component. And if people haven't lived here for a few decades, it's hard to imagine that the Santa Fe River downstream from St. Francis used to basically be a dumping ground where people would throw construction debris and old cars. There's even a gravel mining operation there near San Isidro Crossing. And so today it's like this really fantastic restoration area where the county and the city have worked to keep the river from incising and also have planted lots of trees.
Is that the same location we had one of the Earth Days on the San Isidro Crossing?
That's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're on Siler. Does that trail go all the way to Siler, or it's about to? Or
yeah, so currently the trail goes all the way to Siler, and the next section that'll be built will be from Siler to San Isidro.
And they're going to build a parking area there, which is going to be awesome because right now, that's where I live right next to on Siler. Nice. So I park on the side of the road there in my car. Yeah. It's okay, but it's a pretty steep little drop off,
Yeah.
but so a parking lot. I'm excited for a parking lot.
Mhm.
But that's awesome.
So when you say restoration, does that mean they're actually doing river work so that the water can, flow more, or will it reach that far
Well,
south?
unfortunately, that's kind of outside of our hands in the open space program. A lot of that is managed by the city of Santa Fe's water utility. The city has like what's called a living river ordinance, which allows for ecological flows of the river, usually in the summer months. So the water sometimes flows down there if there's like a big rain event, or in the summer when they're releasing water from the reservoirs. But it'll help like recreate the cottonwood forest that used to be along the river.
Well, we're gonna have to take our dogs out to the trail.
I was wondering who's going to mention dogs first.
I broke. It's me. What about any trails? What is like a really great trail that even our staff or people who, want to get out now for the summer days, now that the evenings cool off, what's a good trail for people to go explore?
I personally feel like in the summertime, probably the best trail is the one that goes through Little Tesuque Creek Canyon. It's shady in there. But in the evenings, once it's cooled down, I don't know any of the trails. The whole rail trail. Have you ever taken the rail trail? Yeah. And it has really beautiful views stretching all the way down to the Sandias, and so it's a great evening stroll or bike ride or horseback ride if that's your thing.
And that one goes from Rabbit Road all the way to Lamey. Is that one the Rabbit Trail?
Eventually.
Or eventually?
It's not
Okay.
quite, it's not quite too
I'm just
lame
giving
yet.
all kinds of wrong information on this.
It's close.
Yeah, eventually it'll be built to Lamy. Currently, the county-maintained portion of the trail ends at Spur Ranch Road.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still way out there.
Yeah.
Wow. How long is that trail?
In total, which includes the city portion, which goes to Rabbit Road to the Santa Fe Depot, it'll be 18 miles long.
Wow. How many trails do you have total in the county? Do you know that?
Well, the answer is it depends how you classify a trail. Like we have small trails that go through the open space properties. And then we also have something that we call regional trails, which are those really long trails like this rail trail or the Santa Fe River Greenway. Of those regional trails, we have 4. In addition to the ones I mentioned, there's also the El Camino Real Trail, which goes from the south side of town basically to Diablo Canyon. And then we also have the Arroyo Hondo Trail, different from the open space. And that one is in the Community College District. It's currently being built.
Okay.
Some sections have been built, and that'll go from Richards Avenue to the train station at NM 599.
Wow.
That's going to be great. So if you have a bike, then everybody should be biking from the rail trail or from the depot, right? Get off the train and you can bike all over that part of Santa Fe.
Yeah, one of our colleagues actually frequently will commute to work from El Dorado on the rail trail, which I think is really cool because it's a great alternative to driving in every day.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good way to reduce the carbon footprint.
for sure.
Yeah, and I bike to work every day along the river trail.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I feel like something I've been putting a lot of my time into is developing a few interpretive exhibits for Arroyo Hondo Open Space. And we finally got some new maps made for Arroyo Hondo Open Space, the Santa Fe Rail Trail, and El Camino Real Trail. And I think we're both very excited to get those out into the public for people to use.
You said exhibits?
Yeah.
Where are those going to be displayed?
Yeah, so they'll be at Arroyo Hondo Open
Okay.
Space. There'll be one at the trailhead, and then there'll be a few as you walk around the trails. There'll be some exhibits that talk about the flora and fauna of the open space, the history of that dam project that I mentioned, because you can still
Cool.
see that historic dam there. And then the view. By the way, if you're looking for a great place for a sunset view, Arroyo Hondo Open Space is really nice. That view stretches out all the way across the Galisteo Basin. And so there'll be an exhibit that just tells you what the different peaks are and that kind of thing. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's in the works though. We're still a very early part of it, but it'll be nice to have some of those different things highlighted out there and some of those stories shared.
Heck yeah, that makes me want to go to hike in Arroyo Hondo for sure.
Yeah.
A couple of things I'm really excited about is that the county recently acquired new open space properties earlier this year. One is called 10 Little Hills, and it's a little 2-acre parcel that's really close to Cerrillos Hill State Park, which is actually owned by Santa Fe County, even though it's managed by the state parks. And there's a trail that goes through 10 Little Hills that leads to the state park, so folks can already go hike on that trail. It's called the Elkins Canyon Trail. And then another open space property the county acquired in April is an expansion of San Pedro open space, which is located near Golden in the southern part of the county. So that has doubled the size of the open space, and we'll be working on some planning this year to get some trails on the ground there. Yeah, that property is really exciting because it's adjacent to BLM land in the San Pedro Mountains that have basically been landlocked for a long time. So it'll allow folks to access that public land eventually. And it's also along the proposed alignment for the Rio Grande Trail. And that's a state initiative led by the New Mexico Outdoor Recreation Division. They are planning to build what's called the Rio Grande Trail, which will go from the New Mexico southern border with Mexico to Colorado along the Rio Grande. And in Santa Fe County, that trail will likely follow Highway 14. It is getting rerouted away from the tribal nations that live along the Rio Grande because they don't want people hiking there. Yeah. So a portion of it will be going all the way through Santa Fe County, and we're working with the Outdoor Recreation Division to designate that trail in the county.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I mean, New Mexico is a huge destination, right, for recreation, I would say, in the West. And so how beautiful to see that there's going to be, I mean, I don't want to call it like trans-state, like it's going to go through different areas and communities, and that the county gets to be a part of that is really a unique opportunity.
Well, I want to put in a plug for ways people can get involved.
Yes.
The county, along with the Botanical Garden and the Audubon Center, facilitates a Master Naturalist program every year. So folks can apply to be a part of the 2024 cohort. And once they complete the Master Naturalist course, they can then volunteer to be a steward of Santa Fe County's open spaces.
So we are here with Open Space and Trails. And if you are looking for something to do this summer, please visit our website at santafecountynm.gov to look where you can find a trail or an open space to visit this summer. And this is Beyond County Lines with Daniel and Olivia.